Okay, so imagine this scenario. You're floating up in space, maybe looking out at Earth. Beautiful, right?
Absolutely stunning, yeah.
And then you feel it coming on, that need to, you know, burp.
Ah, yes. The familiar feeling.
So you try,
Yeah.
and, well, it just doesn't quite work like it does down here, does it?
No, not at all. It can actually be quite unpleasant up there.
It sounds so weird, doesn't it? A simple burp. So today we're doing a deep dive into why this basic bodily function gets so complicated without gravity.
Right. We're looking at some research, stuff like studies titled No Burping in Space, essentially, trying to get to the bottom of this gravity dilemma.
Exactly. Our mission is to unpack why gravity is sort of the hidden hero of the burp and what goes wrong when it's, well, gone.
It's fascinating, really. You realize how much this force we take for granted is quietly running things, even inside our own bodies.
Okay, let's start there. On Earth, how does it actually work? How does gravity help us burp normally?
Well, it starts when you eat or drink anything. You always swallow a bit of air, along with the food or liquid. It's unavoidable.
Right, happens all the time.
So inside your stomach, gravity kicks in. It's simple physics, really. It pulls the denser stuff, the food, the liquids downwards, settles them at the bottom.
Okay, so gravity does the sorting.
Precisely. And the air you swallowed, it's much lighter, less dense. So gravity lets it float upwards. It naturally rises and collects the very top of your stomach.
Near the esophagus entrance.
Exactly right. It forms a nice, neat little bubble of gas up there, separate from everything else. Think of, like, oil floating on water.
Okay, so gravity creates this tidy gas bubble ready to go. What actually pushes it out then?
Good question. Once enough gas collects in that bubble, the pressure starts to build up at the top of the stomach.
Makes sense.
And that pressure acts as a signal. It tells these little muscular rings, sphincters. There's one at the bottom of your esophagus connecting to the stomach and another one higher up.
Right, the valves.
Yeah, those valves, the pressure tells them to relax, to open up for a moment.
And pop, out comes the gas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The path is clear, the collected gas escapes upwards, and you get that familiar, mostly clean, dry burp we all know.
Okay, that makes perfect sense down here, with gravity helping sort everything. So what happens when you just take gravity out of the equation up in space?
Well, that's the core of the problem. In microgravity, or zero-G, there's no significant down direction for gravity to pull things towards.
So no sorting.
No sorting. Inside an astronaut's stomach, the air they swallowed, the juice they drank, the food they ate, it all just kind of floats around together, mixed up.
Like a space slushy in there.
Huh, yeah, something like that. The gas doesn't automatically rise to the top because there is no top, functionally speaking. It can't form that separate, convenient bubble.
Wow. Okay, so the gas is still in there, but it's just tangled up with the liquids and solids.
Exactly. It's dispersed throughout the stomach contents. And this is where, things get problematic.
I can imagine.
If an astronaut feels that pressure and tries to, force a burp like they would on Earth.
What happens? It's not just air coming out, is it?
No. Because the gas isn't neatly separated, attempting to expel it means you're inevitably pushing out some of the surrounding liquids and maybe even solids along with it.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. The sources we looked at describe this pretty vividly. They call it a wet burp, sometimes even stronger terms like regurgitation or, the rather graphic vomit burp.
Yikes. Vomit boop definitely paints a picture. Not something you want happening in a helmet.
Absolutely not. It's messy, it's unpleasant. So the key takeaway from the research is pretty clear. Without gravity doing that essential separation work, a clean, dry burp is basically impossible. Trying usually leads to, bringing stuff back up.
It really changes the whole mechanism, doesn't it?
Fundamentally, that simple, dry burp is a luxury afforded to us by gravity.
So wrapping this up then, gravity is not just keeping our feet planted, is it? It's doing crucial work inside us, like separating air from food for a simple burp.
It really highlights how deeply integrated we are with our environment, with this constant force. Even tiny biological processes are affected when we leave Earth.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yes.
Which leads to a final thought for you listening. What other everyday, seemingly trivial bodily functions do we just take for granted down here?
Yeah, things that feel totally automatic.
What else might become surprisingly difficult or just plain weird once you take gravity away? Something to ponder maybe next time you enjoy a completely normal gravity-assisted burp.